brauchst du noch nicht aufzugeben, denn vielleicht ist heute der beste Tag deines Lebens.
Das Gesetz des Austauschs. Im Herzen des Universums herrscht kein Stillstand. Alles gibt, alles empfängt, alles bewegt sich im Kreis. Energie fließt nur, wenn sie geteilt wird. Wer festhält, blockiert den Strom. Wer loslässt, vermehrt ihn. So offenbart sich das Gesetz des Austauschs, die uralte Balance zwischen Geben und Empfangen. In der Natur findest du dieses Prinzip überall. Der Baum gibt Sauerstoff, die Erde nimmt ihn auf. Der Regen fällt, verdunstet, kehrt zurück. Auch du bist Teil dieses ewigen Atems. Wenn du gibst, ohne dich zu erschöpfen, und empfängst, ohne Schuld, tanzt du im Rhythmus des Lebens. Fülle entsteht durch Bewegung, nicht durch Besitz. Viele Menschen fürchten, zu wenig zu haben. Sie klammern sich an Dinge, an Menschen, an Kontrolle. Doch was du festhältst, verliert Energie. Was du teilst, wächst. Das Universum reagiert auf Vertrauen, nicht auf Angst. Wenn du gibst, weil du dich vollständig fühlst, kehrt alles in anderer Form zu dir zurück. Geben ist keine Pflicht, sondern ein Akt der Liebe. Es bedeutet, dass du das Leben durch dich hindurchfließen lässt. Empfangen ist kein Egoismus, sondern Demut. Es erlaubt dem Universum, dir zu dienen. Nur wenn beide Kräfte in Balance sind, entsteht Harmonie. Zu viel Geben erschöpft, zu viel Nehmen erstickt. Atme und stelle dir einen goldenen Kreis vor, der um dich fließt. Mit jedem Einatmen empfängst du Licht, mit jedem Ausatmen gibst du es weiter. Spüre, wie sich dieser Kreislauf endlos erneuert. Das ist energetische Ökonomie, die natürliche Ordnung des Seins.
This is the resistance and I'm not giving in. Breaking the paradigm everybody's living in. No more spinning on a ball, that shit was just pretend. And I'm not gonna say it is just for the sake of fitting in. The truth is different to people because illusions vary. The truth is hidden, the truth is missing, the truth is buried. The truth is beautiful, truth is ugly, the truth is scary. That's why telling the truth is revolutionary. The truth is something that these people just will not provide. That's why they gotta keep sheeple completely occupied. Now our food and our fruits and veggies are modified. And that's what happens when common sense is just not applied. They govern your mind, that's why it's called governmental. Everything that comes out of their mouth is utter dribble. And we just sit here every day, it's always uneventful. That's why I'm out here causing ruckus, man, that's what I'm into. Defiant, remaining non-compliant. No, I'm not staying quiet, never remaining silent. Doing everything that I can just to create a riot. I want the truth and I'll do whatever it takes to find it. Have to be asleep to have the American dream. There's bloodlines and they seem to think there's a supreme. Democrats and Republicans are sharing the scene. It's no different than the WWE. Everybody's an actor and the world is a stage. We're just some slaves never knowing the world is a cage. They got us worrying about chasing fortune and fame. They train us to ignore these things and it's more than just strange. But I won't do this anymore, man, I'm taking control. If you don't do it for yourself, no one's saving your soul. It's better that you make it whole than they'll make it a hole. Ripping it, tearing it, twisting and taking it slow. I've never been the type of guy that would tolerate ghouls. They try to take us and brainwash us in all of their schools. They're lying to us every day while we're watching the news. But I refuse to lose and no, I won't follow the rules. Defiant, remaining non-compliant. No, I'm not staying quiet, never remaining silent. Doing everything that I can just to create a riot. I want the truth and I'll do whatever it takes to find it.
I still see natural white clouds up until today, but only at a distance. They don't seem to make it over the city very much. Instead, they are blocked by the yellowish gray clouds, suspected to be strontium, which rusts when mixed with the atmosphere. The haze, the blanketing layers that encompass the city almost daily from high in the atmosphere, are silvery, but never white in any lighting situation. This is probably the hologram layer, which I will cover later. On the left is what you see in the sky. or what they want you to see. Fluffy white clouds. On the right is actually what is there. A main aircraft hovering or moving slowly with its nose up in the air. At the bottom of the craft, jets emit the cloud-like material, probably strontium, into the air, while the cloud top-shaped rear edge churns the material into billowing cloud formations. I believe that it's the 4 round identical engines on the back that emit this material. However, the stream that comes from the back forms into striations of 8 to 10 lines before it completely billows into a single cloud unit. These devices are literally spraying clouds.
If an airplane painted with nanotube coating were hit with a radar beam, nothing at all would bounce back, and it would appear as if nothing were there. This type of cloaking is very interesting, especially since they have demonstrated operation in the air, says Ray Bauman, director of the McDiarmid Nanotech Institute at the University of Texas at Dallas. Bauman recently demonstrated that nanotubes can form an invisibility cloak when they're heated up underwater. The heat from a sheet of nanotubes affects the optical properties of the surrounding water, creating the illusion of invisibility. Invisibility cloaks shield objects by manipulating incident light so that it simply flows around them. Nanotubes are relatively easy to make and work across a broad spectrum. A University of Michigan researcher and colleagues have created a new kind of nanostructured coating made of carbon nanotubes that could cloak an aircraft in complete blackness, concealing it in the visible range and beyond. That means that unlike other metamaterials that are the more spectrum specific, they can cloak an object not only from visible light, from things like radar as well.
So, it's a light wave sponge, just as earlier forms were just radar wave sponges. But here is the basic gist of this. You take one nanotube, electrically place it next to another, so on and so forth, until you form a coating, a carpet that traps and refracts light. Another color I've noticed is a darker bluish material. This seems to emanate from at least one source, the centered engine on the rear of the largest aircraft. This engine seems to be the one responsible for maintaining the aircraft's height above the ground. It is said that the anti-gravitational devices used are 98% efficient. So one upward thruster would be needed to make up for the 2% weight. Also, the exhaust port on this thruster seems to be different from the 4 cylindrical thrusters nearby. The exhaust is usually seen as a single downward pointing stream of whitish or bluish material. Finding the craft in satellite photographs has possibly confirmed this assessment. Having the time to research the possibility of information on these small craft already being available, I realized that yes, some of the descriptions I've been outlining fall in line with photographs of secret aircraft projects.